All right, everybody. Welcome to the Hoops Rehab Show. How you doing, Eric?
Doing pretty good. Other than that beat down and that crypto tonight, that was a little unexpected.
It was one of those nights in the NBA where you go, I'm not really sure if the guys wanted to be here tonight.
Yeah, for real. It was like, I mean, had like I said, a little bit of a lead through portion of that second quarter, but after that, I mean, regardless of Devin Booker being there or not, it was all Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we're going to get into some live Lakers talk, recap of the game. Also get into, has Father Time arrived here for LeBron? And get a little bit into the NBA Cup and then talk about some injuries around the league as well. So, as always, everybody, I am the Game Injury Doc, aka Dr. Evan Jeffries. On my right is Eric B. Mack. We are the host of the Hoops Rehab Show. If you're live on YouTube right now, please hit that subscribe button. We are on YouTube at the Hoops Rehab Show. You can also find us on Instagram with the same title, the Hoops Rehab Show. And then if you're looking for our individual handles, I am the Game Injury Doc, and on the right is Eric B. Mack. So we can find us at all social media platforms under those handles. And as always, tomorrow we'll be uploading the pod. It'll be up for your morning drive, wherever you get your pod. It's the Hoops Rehab Show. Please hit the follow button, hit the auto download, and rate and comment on there as well. All right, Eric, let's get this cracking, man. So, back to back in the NBA, it's just what is not. It's not what it used to be, right? I feel like there's this like stigma on back to backs where it's, should we play guys on a back to back? I don't know if it's too much to play 2 games in a row. Might be hard on guys. There might not be into the game. That's what we got tonight, Eric. How you feeling?
You know, it's funny. It was like yesterday morning, and I'm sitting there just kind of thinking, oh, I wonder if Luka will play the back to back. He is 27 years old and in his prime, and like these guys, which he did. I'm not saying he didn't do it, and he played really good, but it's just kind of even I've fallen into the trap of like, oh, these guys gonna play back to back. Like, man, if a 27-year-old, in his prime, one of the better players in the league. If he's not injured and he's not playing back to back, then we have issues. But yeah, this whole back to back like narrative, the Lakers really didn't do much to it because they acted like they're playing back to back, and they're kind of acting like a team that obviously, had been playing good ball, albeit against opponents that obviously you can't do much about your opponents. They are who they are. But yeah, they just ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw. I think they were missing a guy like Marcus Smart tonight to kind of maybe shut up Dylan Brooks a little bit, who was definitely on a heater. Gillespie was just hitting every 3 possible. Yeah, I know, exactly. It's just one of those nights. But yeah, it's like that whole back-to-back narrative, which is kind of drives us crazy a little bit.
Yeah, they played like a team that didn't really want to be there. Obviously, the first quarter, second quarter, they're kind of in the game. But then again, Devin Booker went out of the game. He only played 10 minutes, went out with a groin injury, never came back, and they still could not get it going against this Phoenix team. Obviously, Phoenix was hot from the 3-point line. Gillespie, I think, had he had 8 threes, right? So, you're getting 8 threes out of Colin Gillespie, right? That's not going to – you're definitely not going to win a game if he's hitting that many threes. So, they weren't really playing any defense. They weren't moving like they would normally do on defense, like at least getting to their person on the wing. They're wide open shots, allowing easy transitional baskets at the rim. Mark Williams, our boy who was traded to the Lakers, he was getting easy dunks. So I just think it was not one of their nights. I don't think I want to necessarily discount what they've done early on in the season because they've obviously played really, really well. I'm going to chalk it up to more of just one of those nights, Eric. What about you?
Yeah, it's weird just the way the kind of schedules worked out. We haven't been able to get on as much when they've been winning all these games. So it's kind of interesting. We jump on obviously after a loss, and so this is probably just kind of thinking about their losses. Is probably the first just bad loss of the season, and those really you just can't have. I mean, but they're gonna happen. And so I think the only concern, and you just mentioned it, is defense, and I think that is something that say the Dodgers, the Lakers, I think have been able to outscore opponents, so we haven't really felt it as much. But maybe when you're not so efficient offensively, you need something to kind of hang your hat on, and that would be the defensive end. And Lakers, that's just not in their DNA right now. Again, Marcus Smart, but again, it's like you can't. I mean, hopefully playoff time and things like that. He's big, but you can't depend on him playing anywhere near 82 games. He's going to be in and out of the lineup as he's already been through the first 20. But yes, if we were sitting here October 21st, 22nd, whenever the season started, and the Lakers were going to be 15-5 through 20, I think we would probably take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, 15-5 is a great record through 20 games, right? You're a quarter through the season. You double that, you're 30-10. I mean, you're kind of rolling along in the West.
60 pace for 60 basically wins.
Yeah,
but
so there's no shame in what they've done early on. My concern is just kind of moving forward, like after this game, right? So it's like they've had some nice games at home, a nice little stretch here, and then now they're about to go on the road, right?
Yeah, tough.
And you're going to go play Toronto on Thursday, and then you got another back-to-back against Boston, right? So
I know.
I think that's like the concerning thing, where it's like, all right, you lose one game, you can take that, right? It happens in the NBA. But now that you got to go on the road and play some tough teams, we got to see what this team is really made of early on.
Yeah, they got at Toronto, at Boston, at Philly, and I totally understand that that trio of teams, other than Toronto, is playing really well. It's not the trio that it's been, the past handful of years. But I mean, they're still really tough at home. Boston is going to be a tough ass game back to back. Toronto, obviously, they're doing something right there, and then just at Philly, it's just Lakers just struggle at Philly every year. I remember last year Philly had really nobody, and they whooped their butts, and so that's what exactly like that was the only concerning thing, is like, let's get this win tonight, 16-4. And I mean it in terms of from like a standings perspective. Like, I think it's super important now that we're 20 games in. I think it's really important that the Lakers do get like a 2 or 3 seed. Before, it's like, okay, just get the top 6. But now they're right there. I mean, but it happens. I mean, Denver lost at home to Dallas tonight. Yep. Houston lost at Utah tonight. And I think I saw at least Kevin Durant was playing for Houston, and the Joker was playing for Denver. I'm not too sure about anybody else, but so yeah, it happens, right? Like, we didn't lose a game on those 2 teams, I guess. But that stretch coming up, so you got at Toronto, at Boston, at Philly, and then they come for the NBA Cup, which we're going to get into later. But yeah, I mean, you got to somehow get 2 of those 3, right?
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah, you're hoping at least to get Marcus Smart back on Thursday, because you can see the difference in this team without the intensity. They had nobody to kind of get in somebody's face, like no intensity. Yeah. And if you're not playing Vando, which I saw a little press statement by JJ Redick earlier about Vando, and how he's not in the rotation, how he's been a complete professional about it, all that stuff. But there's some things that JJ wanted to see before LeBron got back from Vando and after, and he just hasn't seen it from him. So he didn't really specify what those things are, but we talked about it, like being able to make the corner 3. And
we can specify
offensively, right? So I'm not sure how much you're going to even get anything out of him this season, right? Because he doesn't seem like he's been in favor of JJ Redick, like in his like rotation, really. Like, he's gone in the doghouse multiple times under JJ Redick. So I think it might be one of those times where if you're looking for trade assets or trade pieces, he's going to be definitely probably on the horizon there. And then I also want to talk about, I mean, Rui's been had such a great season so far, but
Yeah.
I don't know if he just was 9 in today's game, but he had 0 points, barely shot the ball, not
Over
doing the
one.
usual.
Over
0
one.
for 1. Yeah, I
23
mean,
minutes.
you
Come on.
can't score
straight up-
going 0 for 1. I mean, Jesus Christ. So that was a rough game just in general, but they're going to need some players. They're going to need a little bit more going on with this Lakers squad. I think we were talking about earlier. They probably need another athletic 3-and-D guy, Andrew Wiggins. But they're going to need somebody like that in order to kind of, number one, play better defense. Number two, be able to withstand what LeBron's season is going to look like the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't know if the Wiggins talk was real in the offseason, but maybe they were kind of hoping Miami would have a tough year, and maybe at the trade deadline they'd kind of unload. But Miami is having a pretty damn good season. They do got some kind of young players there, so maybe he's not in their plans. But yeah, a guy like Rui who's having a good season, he's definitely. It's obviously would be nice to keep him, but I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know who's going to really want Vando and what's his face Connect for. I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. And I know we're going to be dangling them like crazy, and maybe that first round pick too.
Little Gabe Vincent with it too.
Little GV, Gabe Vincent, like. But we'll see. Sometimes you end up not having to trade as much as you would need to with you if you throw in a first round pick, which I don't know if the Lakers are in the business of doing that or not. We see what could happen with the first round picks, right? You get Oklahoma City, who's got the Clippers first round pick this year. And so, which is crazy. Clippers probably weren't expecting to have this bad of season, but here we are.
OKC could finish with the number 1 seed, probably win the championship, and have the number 1 pick.
That seems like something like in the 80s, like what would happen, Didn't like Lakers have that with like
where they got James, they had Magic and
and then Worthy. It's like, how did that happen? You're just
and then they won 5 championships. So it would be something like that. So that's how you create a dynasty and withstand the whole, all the money issue. Just reloading on these rookies that OKC is going to do year in, year out, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've talked about how it's gonna be very tough to keep the core, but we've seen them, play games without the core, and they've still been pretty damn good. And they got more guys come in, and obviously there's going to be more guys in the pipeline. And so, but that's where, I know it's like F them picks, sometimes, right, depending on the scenario. But you gotta hope you do some damage if you go with that route. I mean, obviously, like I think like the Rams in football, NFL made that popular, and they won a Super Bowl, and so you can kind of you could take a couple of years of not having draft picks, if that's the case. But yeah, anywho, that's what will be interesting. That if the Lakers really feel, and it seems like they are, really feel like they have the 3 or 4 teams that potentially could dethrone, OKC and kind of what they need to do that, then I could see them being active kind of in January at the deadline. But that being said, it's not going to happen for a bit. So they got to just pick up W's where they can. And again, like I said, I think they've had 5 losses, obviously. And the ones I could think about, I mean, they got whooped against OKC. Not that was a good loss, but I think this was like probably their first like bad loss of the season. I mean, at Atlanta was a stinker too. But Atlanta, as you can see, they've been playing pretty good since then. And Phoenix is not bad either. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think they're better than they were last year, which I kind of expected. But it would have still been nice to get this win. But it is what it is. Got to take that 15-5 and get on the road.
Yeah, that's their little sleeper team, huh, Eric? Little Phoenix Suns. A little Dylan Brooks getting 30-something, whatever he got tonight. Come on, man.
I know. It's like, I feel like he just whatever squad he's on, he does better when he's just like on a team that just kind of overachieves and
True.
it just flies under the radar. And then obviously, like, he's not going to have games like this very often, but he is going to be a pest like he always is and get under their skin a bit. And, but
Yeah. And
here we
once
are.
they can get Jalen Green healthy and, he actually plays for this team, and they're going to be a decent little team, that 6, 7, 8 seed, kind of fighting for that position, probably playing team. But like with Jalen Green, Booker, Dylan Brooks, and some of these young guys that are playing pretty well, it'll be
Yeah.
a decent chance to possibly make the playoffs as like a 7, 8 seed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think they do. When you got teams like, Grizzlies, Clippers, that are maybe you thought had a chance to get in there and they're completely falling off. So that's going to open the doors for a team like Phoenix for sure.
Yeah. All right. So we need to get into the question that remains with the Lakers. Has father time arrived for LeBron James, Eric?
Ooh,
is it finally
had a feeling
here?
We're going to get to this.
Are we actually seeing it live right now? What are your thoughts? I got a bunch of thoughts on it, but what are your thoughts coming from your perspective on it?
Yeah, I think we have. And I mean, the initial thing, it's like, okay, he's just getting back into a groove. The injuries is what kind of is hampering him, but that's part of it. The injuries, right? He's in year 23. He's been playing since like 70 something players, since they were born, 70 something, 71 players were born after his debut in the NBA. Something, there's like a crazy like statistic like that we were talking about the other day. But so I think we've kind of seen that the last 3 or 4 years where, the ankle, which is a little bit of a freak accident against Atlanta, but then the groin injury and then the sciatica now. And so I think that's part of it, and I think he's hit a wall a bit. And he's definitely going to be the third leading scorer on the team, right? Never thought that would happen. We'll see. Well, I think he's been contributing enough, since he's played, 3 or 4 games. But yeah, in my opinion, just like the eye test, seeing that he doesn't have much lift at all. We're going to have nights like this from him. And that's just not what we're used to seeing.
Yeah. I mean, my thoughts going into the season, once we found out that he had some like sciatica, low back issues, was it'll be interesting to see if he has lost a step with his athleticism, because there's some practice videos I was watching and just looking at his lift when he was going up for a layup or even like attempting a dunk just didn't look right. Yeah. And so, his power leg's his left leg, right? And that's the foot ankle that he's been having issues with the last couple of years, right? So he has that issue. That's one separate thing. The right side is the sciatica. So whenever you have a nerve injury and it's going down the posterior chain, like it's going down your buttocks, going down your hamstring, all those muscles are affected, right? His ability to actually initiate power is affected. And you can see it. Like I mean, I've watched him for these 5 games, and it's like there's times where he's, Austin Reeves is throwing him a lob, and you're just like, ooh, yeah, he's not the LeBron of old, right? Like you throw it over the rim and LeBron will get it at some point, but he's been missing kind of like those lobs. He did catch one from Luka, right? But he just doesn't look like he has the same lift at all. And that worries me, because going through a whole season like this is going to be very, very difficult to kind of maintain his level of play. I did think, though, like the fact that they have Luka and Austin Reeves and have taken the burden of the scoring, he doesn't have to do as much, and he can actually decline and not look as bad as, say, if he was on just a normal team where he's the number one option. Right. If LeBron was a number one option on the team right now, you would see Father Time would even be more present, like every single game, because there's so much dependent on him. But the fact that there's not as much dependent on him right now, I think he can at least kind of coast through the season. But my concern is, as the season progresses, what's that load going to look like for him? How's his body going to feel? And at that point, I thought it'll be at least 2-3 months into the season whether or not he will announce his retirement at some point, just because he knows his body is not what it was before.
Yeah, no, definitely some good points. I think we talked about on an earlier show that he probably doesn't really know what he's going to do, but he's got to get through this year and kind of decide, do I want to do what I just did another year, like the off-season program that he puts himself through, getting through another 82 plus playoff, right? Like it's real. Like you think it's like, oh, whatever, just do it. But like, he doesn't have to do it anymore. And so, yeah, all the stuff you talked about, him, his left leg kind of being that, like his main kind of leg where he, lifts off and things like that is true. I mean, I think there was a play today. I want to say Luka threw kind of like a Hail Mary, like pass, like all the way down, and Gillespie kind of out muscled and out jumped him to get the ball. And I was like, that's what, I mean, it was a tough play. Don't get me wrong. He was a little ahead of him.
No, but normally LeBron would just run up there, grab it, and then dunk on somebody, right? So
yeah, and so that's when it's like Luka's like thinking like, let me pass this because it is LeBron, but you just got to think twice about that now. And so you're right though. If he was like the number one on a team, I think it would be very obvious. But because he's like, 2, 3, right? They're kind of doing well. They're coasting a little bit other than tonight. I think he can still provide kind of what the Lakers, could need kind of throughout the season, but I don't know. We'll see kind of what he, 60 games left, right? 62 games left, a lot of games.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it looks like, based on kind of how he's playing, he's probably going to average, the reality is probably like somewhere between that 16 to 20 point range. Right. And that's different for LeBron, obviously. Different from what we're accustomed to. I think there's any given night he could go get 25 or 30. I just don't think he'll be able to do that consecutively throughout this year. And when you look at it, he's not bringing the ball up like you normally would be, right? Like he's not the usual kind of have the ball in his hands, and that's kind of like how his game was always made. So there might be some time where the Lakers start to get a ball in his hand just a little bit more. Just to get him flowing a little bit, because I don't know how much he can kind of get his scoring going if he's just kind of sitting in the corner or kind of on the wing all the time and not really involved in the offense as much.
Yeah, I mean, only 4 games, right? So we don't want to go crazy, but 16.5 points, right? 8 assists, what he's kind of averaging right now. And so that, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, still a lot of games to play, but that could be kind of his final tally, something like that. And I'm sure he's going to have some games where he's on fire and kind of turns back the clock a little bit. But I don't know. It's just crazy to think that it's just I believe it is winding down. If I had to put my money on it, I would say this is his last season.
Yeah, and I like to everybody's going to compare LeBron to Jordan, right? And Jordan's last year, right? Like he obviously was still able to score. He averages 20 points a game, I think.
Yeah.
And then he would go off on some games here and there, but overall, you could tell like this was it, right? Like you're looking at Michael Jordan, and you're like, okay, he's not going to be playing as much after this. But the difference was he was on a team that wasn't that good, and then he was like essentially the number one option, right? So I think LeBron can at least take in stride this season that he has Austin Reeves, he has a Luka that he can kind of rely on, and just allow him to kind of coast into retirement per se. I just think, like we said before, they're going to need another guy, another 3-and-D, some athletic wing, because I don't know if we get into a 7-game series against OKC. If you could rely on LeBron on the defensive end, and then also just if he doesn't have the lift later in the season, what are you going to do? It's not like you have any other options on the bench right now. So there's a couple players that you can put in, but you do need somebody else that can kind of play that position at times.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to get better. I mean, obviously he was out, didn't have a training camp. Like it is going to get better in some sense. But he's not going to be getting any younger. He's next year, obviously, right? As the days go by. I don't know if those injuries are going to just go away. And so I mean, you kind of compare it to Michael Jordan. I also want to kind of compare it to somebody that played a long time, like Kareem, right? I was looking at his stats. So he for his career averaged 28.8, almost 29 points. And then his last season, he averaged 10 points, the season before that, 14 points. So for him, it just kind of like last couple seasons, it just really tailed off. And so obviously they had Magic, Worthy, AC Green, Byron Scott. So they won some championships there, but I think he will end his career more gracefully than Kareem, will, but it just comparing two monster careers for, playing 20 plus years. That's kind of somebody I compare it to.
Yeah. And to me, as the season goes on, I can't see him coming back for a 24th season if it just kind of evolves into this, right? Where he's just kind of slowly going down. I just don't see him coming back and be like, yeah, I'll play the bench role, or like, yeah, I'll come in and be the sixth man or something like that. Like, I just don't see that. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what we hear in the next month or two in terms of what LeBron's going to do next year. Because I do think he's going to want some sort of level of announcement in the season. I just can't see him retiring in the offseason without anything and then never seeing him again next year. So I would imagine there'll be something and he'll probably come to some sort of conclusion probably by the All-Star break.
Yeah, it's gonna be like if it happens, All-Star break, or when's his birthday? Like December 30th. So maybe for like the New Year's, right? Or some, I don't know, or maybe not, or we're just kind of speculating, and he's gonna play another season. I mean, I have no idea, but it just feels that way. That it's we know the time is near, but it's very much near. In terms
he did keep that 10-point streak though. Definitely went in, try to get the foul, and then hit a three to get that 10 points, and was like, all right, peace, you guys, I'm out. I did hear something crazy though by the announcer that his 10-point streak is longer than AC Green's overall Ironman streak.
Streak, wow.
Damn. Because I think LeBron started in 2007 with this streak, so freaking it's 2025. Well, that's 18 plus years. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's somebody's career, right? And he obviously started in 2003, so kind of crazy.
That's how you become the points leader for sure.
Yeah, we're all witness to it, and it's fun to watch. It'd just be interesting how the season goes on.
Yeah, it's obviously for a team like us Laker fans that hope there's title or at least conference final, maybe finals contention. It's I don't know. We'll have to see kind of what this all means going forward.
Yeah. All right, so I wanted to touch a little bit on the NBA Cup because that will be coming up after the road trip. Well, the Lakers will play San Antonio. And then we'll look at kind of the West bracket, East bracket, right? Because the Lakers will either match up with the Suns or Thunder. So it could be a pretty epic matchup in the semis with the Lakers and Thunder if both teams win. What were your kind of thoughts on the matchups of the NBA Cup? And like, should they keep it East versus West or kind of mix that up?
Yeah, I mean, NBA Cup, obviously, got at least talk about it a little bit since the Lakers are in it. They won their group. And so we know that they won the inaugural in-season tournament a couple seasons back. And so a couple of things that come to mind, right? So we're going to play, believe now that means you're going to play San Antonio, 5 times this year. If you play OKC in the semis in Vegas, we'll definitely we'll bring a lot of eyeballs. I'm sure the NBA would probably love that. That would mean playing OKC 5 times, right? And so when you're looking at the standings and things like that, that's where it makes a difference. I believe the losers play each other as well. So, because they have to play that other game. So if Lakers lose to San Antonio, they'll play the loser of the Phoenix and San Antonio. Phoenix and the OKC, don't quote me on it, but I'm almost positive that's the case. And I don't know. I think it would be in LA if I believe it will be, because they're the number 1 overall seed in it. But yeah, to answer your question, I think it'd be cool to kind of mix it up a little bit of East and West, where you have maybe like some teams in the same group, from the East and the West. I know the whole like travel thing is going to come up, but I mean they do play the East Coast teams twice a year anyways. West plays East plays West twice a year. So why not just kind of figure that into the equation? I think that would be, kind of cool, and have like a semis where you're playing, the Knicks or whatever. And then the other side, it's OKC and, whoever's in the, San Antonio, or whoever is who is in the damn East.
We got
Knicks and somebody.
Knicks and Raptors, and then Heat and Magic.
Yeah. So 4 teams, yeah. Okay. So obviously, Pistons are not there, but yeah, Knicks, Heat, Toronto, Magic. So that's right now, that's your 2 through 5 seeds actually in the East.
Yep.
With Detroit being number 1. So yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to mix it up a bit. But for me, I'm already thinking like, damn, a matchup with OKC in Vegas would be pretty
epic.
Pretty epic. We'll see how they do, but got to get through San Antonio first. And is Wemby going to be back for December 10th?
Yeah, I think I was hearing that it might not be back by then. I think like Stephen Castle might be back by then, but I don't know if Wemby will be. So that'll be an interesting matchup. I like if they were to get to Vegas and then mix it up, right? So it's not just the West play the West, East plays the East, right? If you just took those 4 teams, kind of mix those up from 1 to 4, I think it'd be kind of fun, right, to see. That way you're getting, likely getting maybe Lakers, OKC in the championship or whatever in the finals of it, right? And then you're like, okay, this is a preview. Well, not necessarily would it be a preview of the finals, but it is a preview of a playoff matchup, right?
Western finals or something.
Yeah. So I kind of like that, but I get it, right? You got East versus West. They probably want to maybe say, oh, maybe this is a preview of the NBA finals, right? They might want to see that, which is kind of cool if you got the Lakers, Knicks, or something like that, which would be kind of interesting. So the NBA Cup is an experiment. It's still here. It's 3 seasons into it, so I don't think it's going anywhere in particular yet. I'm not sure if it's getting the appeal from the NBA fans as it would like to. I mean, are you a fan of the NBA Cup? I mean, I'll give you my personal thing. I get a little bit more excited when it's an NBA Cup game, but I don't know why. I mean, it's a normal regular season game, but for some reason I'm like, ooh, this is an NBA Cup game. Like, it should be better.
Right. And I think that's what the NBA, if the NBA can get those feelings a little bit more from people, then I think that's kind of all they can ask for. And they obviously can hope for a great, semifinal matchup. They did change it up. I don't remember if it was last year, but I know at least the first year, the semifinals were during the week, and then the championship was on a Saturday. This year, the semifinals are on a Saturday, and the championship is like a Tuesday, something to that effect. So I don't know, they're trying to kind of stay away from like college football, or, obviously not having it on Sunday with the NFL. But
I did like the Saturday though.
Yeah, for the championship, right? I know.
I'm surprised they're not doing that for championship.
Kind of like that too. Yeah, I don't recall what they did the second year, but I know for sure the first year with Lakers and Pacers, it was a Saturday night. And then the semis were like a Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a little bit, it piques a little interest, right? I mean, obviously when it's the Lakers too, you're kind of like, all right, let's just get this dub. And we know that the championship game is an extra game. It doesn't count in the standings at all. Yep. So it's a kind of one of those things. But yeah, we'll see what happens here on December 10th.
I will say I agree with one of our listeners though, Cam Miller. Or hold on, let's see. This is the comment here. Those floors are freaking trash and ugly. Yes, they are. It's probably the worst thing they've done with the NBA Cup. And the Lakers had a court that was obviously pretty bad and causing people to slip. And Luka kind of spoke about it. And then the next time they had an NBA Cup game, there's no court. So I would imagine they're going to have to tweak that. I don't think they need all those colors. It doesn't appeal. I don't know why they want you to make it look like it's something when you're on TV, but for some reason they're just way too bright and it distracts you from actually watching the game. So
Yeah, I feel like I know. It's like they kind of try to make it different by adding those floors, but some of them are pretty rough. I mean, you can kind of tweak it. You could have like a little logo, right? NBA Cup, maybe some kind of cup in the middle of the floor. I don't know, something.
Sure.
You could be subtle, but obviously they're trying to make those games as different as possible, even like kind of appearance wise. I don't know. Maybe they should have like particular jerseys they wear for that game or something versus the floor. But yeah, so, and I think I'm pretty sure it's Amazon Prime that has like the semifinals and finals now of the NBA Cup too. Cause I think Cam said something about Tuesday night is NBC prime time.
Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. Or is NBC actually hosting
No,
that?
no, I think it's Amazon. I think it's Prime, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, got it.
I thought, yeah, Prime, yeah. So,
all right, so it's another game. Hopefully, the Lakers kind of show out a little bit. I'm always, whether or not they need to play an extra game is tricky, but at the same time, you want to kind of see them win and kind of get some early momentum going on early on.
Hang up that second banner,
Stop. Did they take down that banner yet?
I don't think so. We'll have to check it out next time we're there.
All right, let's see. All right,
Anyways.
and then lastly, wanted to get to an injury that actually happened tonight, and that's Devin Booker. Looks like Devin Booker left tonight's game with a groin injury. I didn't get a chance to see a video of it because they kind of didn't talk about it on the broadcast. He just went to the locker room and then 10, 15 minutes later started saying that Devin Booker was not going to return to the game because of a groin injury. But anytime there's a soft tissue injury, you're always worried for the strain. So I would imagine they're getting some sort of imaging MRI tonight or tomorrow to kind of determine the severity. But as always, like if you have a grade 1, that's still anywhere between that 1 to 2 weeks. And then if it's anything worse than that, like a grade 2, that's about that 4 to 6 week range. Kind of like how Jalen Green re-aggravated his hamstring, and he's out about 6 weeks now. So hopefully it's nothing for Devin, but that's what we've heard so far.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously didn't need him tonight, but they obviously need him to have any kind of future success, and so they've had a nice start to the season, and so it kind of forgot about Green being out. So once they get him back and get Booker nice and healthy, it might kind of be quietly a team to reckon with, and a team you may not want to see.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well early on. And Eric, have you figured out their head coach yet?
I feel like we should have like a segment like once a week, like just I know TNT would, or they'd have like who he play for,
Yeah, who he coach for?
Who be the coach or something like that. Who be the coach?
Yeah, I think it's James Orr. If I didn't look,
okay.
I don't want to look it up.
No disrespect, of course, but
I'm not trying to disrespect him, but it's just there's
James like no Jordan OTT.
Okay, yeah, close.
James, my man, Jordan, like OTT is
hot.
Wait,
okay,
hot. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
All right, so sorry if we disrespected the Phoenix head coach right now, but there's some coaches out there that kind of went under the radar when they announced them. So props to him because he is doing a hell of a job with Phoenix and kind of getting them to play well. So,
yep, and the Memphis coach. I mean, Memphis coach too. Yeah. Still haven't quite grasped that. But
no, I'm not going to memorize that guy's name.
No, sir.
All right, Eric, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, that's it. Just gotta get two of the 3 on the road for the Lakers' sake. That's for sure.
That's for sure. So 3 road games coming up, and then the NBA Cup. So let's at least go 2-1 on the road. But until then, we'll see you guys on Thursday to recap the Lakers game there. The Hoops Rehab team is out. Peace out, guys.
Peace out, guys.